Hello and welcome to the React lecture series. So in this lecture, we'll see how to add new information. So we need to do a couple of things for doing that. Like we need to now modify the backend so that it can accept the post request, HTTP request, and get the information from the request body. And then at the front end, we also need to make a couple of changes, including we need to add a new component, which will be add student. So right now we don't have it, so we need to create a new component. So we'll create a form, and then we'll take user input. Okay, and then we need a helper function to create a new helper function so that we can send the information, over HTTP post method. Okay, and then we need to change app.js and neighbor as needed. Okay, so let's go and check this out. And then I'll also update the front-end and back-end GitHub repository and obviously share with you. So here is the backend modification. So right now we have the backend like this, which we have created previously. So the main difference is that previously we just created a static student and then just add that student. Okay, so it was not dynamic. So now since we are adding this route with the front end, and then front end will send new information. So we need to modify it now. The one important difference is that we use the get method. Here we are using post method, okay? Because we are sending the information as a part of the request body, okay? So we'll send or using the post method so that it go as an URL encoded form, okay? And so here you see that we are extracting the information through the request body. Okay, from the request body, we're taking this and then we are just inserting this one. And then another distinction here, we are sending status code 201 instead of 200. Okay, so 201 means that a new information is added. So we modify that. And then other distinction is that we are explicitly sending the JSON format, not just the generic send method. Here we say the send in JSON format. So this response will go like after adding the new student, okay? So this new information that we got, we send this one, okay? And then if the execution error happen, database execution error happen while you are trying to insert, then we will generate the error and send in a JSON format. One important thing that you also need to use that app.use. So this is a middleware express.json, okay? So that if the user send, which we are going to send in a JSON format data, so that's why we need to add this line express.json so that the app, which is basically Express, knows that we need to extract the JSON format data. The other one is the course. Course is basically cross-domain communication. So since our front end and back end running in different ports, so we want to add those. Think about that if they're in different domain, not just different ports. So you must add this one in your app.js or server.js, wherever your server configuration is. Okay, so that's the modification at the backend. It's not too much modification, but those are important things. Now, at the front end. So in the front end, we need to have a navigation bar. And other important thing that we also need to add our add student component where we will create our form, right? And so we are creating another route here. So previously we had this route. Okay, you can see all the students, you can search, and then other one is the student details. So those were already there. So we created this component, this component, this component. Now we're going to create another component, add student component, and then we just link to that. Okay, and then this link will also add to the navigation bar, okay, so that we can also see. So previously we had students in as your navigation bar and then search. So now we are also adding the add navigation bar link and then search. Okay, so that will be the display so the user can see. Now, these are the important things to add. Like we need a helper function so that we can send the request. Okay. So here we are sending the request in the add route. Okay. So this is our API endpoint /add. And since we are sending the information through the HTTP post method, so this is the HTTP request message format. Okay, so first we write method property and method name, and then headers. Since headers can be multiple, here we are just sending below just content type property, and then value is application JSON. Okay, you can add multiple headers if you need it. Okay, so we write this is in an object format. Okay, and then body. So what the body will go. So body is we are stringifying because we want to send it. When you send, we basically make the information as a string. When you extract, and then we parse it, right? So we write JSON to stringify, which basically make it string the student object. Okay, so the student is sending from your student component. Okay, so when you call this function, you need to pass the student object, and this student object will go as a part of the body of the request message. Okay, so if response is okay, so that means we know that we are sending a status code 201. So that means the information is added successfully. Then we just return the response. Otherwise, we'll just send an alert the student is not added. And at the end, we need to export this function add a student so that we can import it from our component wherever we need it. So here is our add student component. So we are importing add a student from our API helper function, which we just explained in the previous slides. And then this is our component. Okay, so that's our component at the starting, and that's the ending, and then we are exporting the component. Okay, so one important thing is we need to create a form here. Okay, so that's our form, and then form we have two field. Okay, one is a name field. Okay, and another one is the GPA field. Okay, so input HTML for GPA, and then we give some placeholder. You also register the value to a object, okay, the student object, and then dot name. And then we also say that if the value is not there, we just assign to an empty string, okay? And then on change, so that means if you write anything in this field, then you call the handle change, okay? So here we have the handle submit. When you click the submit button, okay, which is here, the button name is send, but type is submit. When you click the send button, so it will call the handle submit, okay? So we need to check this thing. So first of all, if you want to see that what is the student, okay? So student is basically a useState. So you use a useState method here, and then we created a student object, and this student object has name property and the value property, okay? Since we have multiple fields, one way you could create multiple state for each variable. But then if you have more fields, then it's just so many codes to write. Instead, we can just create an object and then use the just single state variable, and then just create different fields. Okay, so for example, here the name and then empty string is initialized, the GPS initialized to 3.0. Okay, so you can just access it with student.name, student.gpa. So what is happening here, that this field, the value is registered to student.name, and then here the student.gpa. Okay, and then there is navigate. So navigate is the another handler which is instantiated from the useNavigate hook. Okay, so you see that React Router DOM has the useNavigate hook. So you initialize that. So navigate is basically if you want to redirect which route you want to go. So what we are doing here, when you submit this form, and then the handle submit will be called, and then handle submit says event dot prevent default. Okay, so that's the prevent, the event. What is the event is? So it's basically you submit event happen when you have the submit event. So naturally the form will go and submit and looks for the action. Okay, so where the submit should go. Since we don't want to do that way, we are basically using the fetch method, right? Through the handle function. So we say, so that, okay, you should not go for natural form submission. Rather, you stop it. And then we said that we are calling add student and passing our student information. Okay. So this is the student information. The default, the student information is name is empty, GPA is 3. Okay. But we can give the information from our field. Okay. So name, we can give this field information from the user. GPA also we can modify. Okay. And then that will be our new student information. So when you submit with the new information, so it will call this helper function add a student and pass the student object. Okay. And then this student, if I go back to the previous slide, you see that this student will come in here, this helper function, and then it will send to the server for addition, right? So after you add successfully, you can navigate to the this route, which basically shows all the student, including the new student has been added. So that's why we use the await keyword because we are waiting until the database interaction is done so that we can see that also the new students in that list. Okay, and since await also only work through inside the asynchronous function, so we also need to create the handle submit function as an asynchronous function. Okay. Now let's see the handle change. So handle change will, if you type anything in the name field or the GPA field, okay. So handle change will, will also take the event. Okay. So you see that event dot target dot name. So it's basically here the event is on change event. So that means anything change. So you type anything, so that change event happen. And then if anything change happens, so what is the target? So target here is that input type, the text field. Okay, so that's our target. So whatever the name field of this, so that will go in here. So for this one, the name field will be name, that's the student name. And then for this field, the name field will be GPA. Okay, so that's the name field. And then another one, we are taking the value field. Okay. So for this case, the value will be whatever you write inside the name field. Let's say that if you type Nawaz, so that is the value. Okay, that's the value. And then if you write GPS 3.99, so that will be the value for GPA field. Okay, so the name will be changed based on what is the name field. So you should write name. Okay, and then this one also has a name property. Okay, so, and then value will be different based on what you write for that field name. Okay. So, and then value will be also coming accordingly what you type. So now here, the interesting thing is that we also need to maintain the previous state. Okay. So let's say that you just change the name value and you did not change the value field, right? So we also need to keep the previous state. So that's why here we have a, so we are changing the student to the set student function. Okay. The student is an object. Okay. We are changing its value, either name value or the GPA value, or maybe both of them. Okay. And so in that case, we also need that, okay, we keep the previous state and only change wherever the change happened. So here you see that this is a dynamic array, so that name field can be changed, okay? So with the single line, we basically can handle multiple widgets, okay? So we have the text field widget. We may have multiple other fields, right? We can have the selection, drop-down box, or text area, anything, okay? So with just this line, we basically can capture all the widgets that you have in the form, okay? So this means that, okay, you keep the previous state and then you only change wherever the change had happened, okay? So that is the new component that student we need to add. And then I did not show the form validation, which I have described in the previous class. So if you want to add some form validation, like if you have to add some restriction that what should be the name, you want to add some restriction that, okay, you want uppercase, lowercase, anything, what is should be the length of the name, all these things. You can set those restrictions. Okay, since I'm really focusing on the integration of the front end to the back end, so the form validation I explain in a separate video, so you should look into that. Okay. So that's it about the explanation part. So let's go and do the coding demo. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.